Hi guys, welcome back to RPG Labs. Today I am going to show you a preview of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. In this preview I am going to go over ranged weapons, melee weapons, and also magic spells. So let me know down in the comments down below what you are most excited for. In Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, you are offered 6 different types of guns: pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, and heavy weapons. The game is going to offer a new lineup of manufacturers. The first one is a change from Jacobs to Black Powder. Black Powder has quick unload, critical hits, and ricocheting bullets. The second change of manufacturers is Valdoff to Stoker. Stoker has high firing rate, but you also need to be careful with your ammo supply because it does run out quickly. The third change in manufacturers is from Doll to Dahlia, and they are known for alternate firing modes. So there's full auto and then there's burst fire. The fourth change is from Teodore to Fiore, and you can use polymorphing magic on the gun to take on new forms like wing blasters and bouncing bombs. The fifth change is from COV to Skulldugger, and key points here are there's no need to reload, but there is the overheat functionality, which means you need to be careful with cooldown times. The sixth change is Hyperion to Hyperius. With this manufacturer, you can project a magic shield, and you can get more accurate firing the longer you fire. The final manufacturer is Torg, and there's no change from the previous manufacturer. Really, it's all about explosive guns and shooting magical mines that stick onto your enemies. Let's get on to the guns. So here is the arrow shotgun. Once you shoot your enemy, there's actually several arrows that rain from above the sky, and you actually get a ground indicator when you're using this gun. Next on the list is the energy shotgun. This gun fires horizontal energy beams, so each shot actually goes through all the enemies that are close by. Next up is the shotgun pistol, and this is from the manufacturer Black Powder. There's high critical damage, ricochet bullets, and there's also a blade at the end of the gun for melee damage. The next weapon is the laser poison SMG. The laser has target lock, so you can continuously fire at an enemy until it is dead. The next gun is the Burst Fire Freeze SMG. This has elemental damage with frost and cryo. The manufacturer Black Powder also offers the assault rifle. One of the cooler guns in the game would be the sniper rifle, which has the primary mode where you fire bullets, and then a secondary mode where you release a shock orb. The next weapon is the crossbow, and there's just so much variety, as you see from the previews, of all these different types of crossbows that you can use within the game. The game offers alternate firing modes for crossbows. Specifically, this one shoots out electric coils. There are also guns like this one that launches discs. Guns can also come with smart bullets, which are bullets that track your enemies. I was quite intrigued by this dark magic gun that sucks the life out of your enemies. Next up is the COV gun, which is now from the manufacturer Skulldagger. This one shoots shock bullets, and like I said before in the beginning of the video, there's no reloading, but the gun can overheat. On to the melee weapons of this game. There will be swords that are short or long range. Similarly, there will be axes that might be long or short range, and also maces. In the gameplay, we see this giant mallet, as well as this short-range battle axe. If you have a short-range melee weapon, you can do a slide attack. When using your melee weapons, you can chain your attacks. Another interesting feature is that it seems like you can equip 2 melee weapons, and melee weapons in this game seem to work very well in large groups as well. In Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, the guns, the melee weapons, and also the magic spells will allow for elemental damage, and depending on the health bar of your enemies, that's the type of damage that's going to hurt the most on those enemies. So if they have a red health bar, you want to do fire damage, a blue health bar, lightning damage, yellow health bar, poison damage, and the white health bar, frozen damage. So there are overall 6 types of damage that you can do. The kinetic is the non-elemental physical damage. There's no real strengths or weaknesses with this. It kind of works for all types of enemies such as flesh, shielded, and armored. Fire is good on flesh targets and not so good for the shielded or armored enemies. Lightning or shock damage is good against shielded enemies, but wouldn't suggest it for flesh and armored enemies. Poison or corrosive damage is good for armored enemies. Don't do it for flesh and shielded ones. Frost or cryo damage, really good for slowing down or freezing your enemies, and once your enemies are frozen, they are a lot more vulnerable to your melee attacks, somewhat around 3 times the damage. And finally, dark magic is used to drain your enemy's life source, and you can take in that health for yourself. Now we're on to the magic spells in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. You can pick these spell books up in the game, and that's how you're going to be collecting those magic spell abilities. So there are 4 manufacturers for spells: Conjura, where you can do simple cast spells like fire and forget spells; Arcan, where you can do channel cast magic spells, hold down the trigger to spray magic everywhere; Weird Weaver, which does repeating cast spells; and Miraculum, that does self-cast spells. Ash Lyons said, while there isn't a strict spellcasting class in Wonderlands, in theory, with the right combination of weapons, spells, and other modifiers, you could build a god-tier spellcaster. So this is something that I'm actually really excited for. Not sure about you guys, but it sounds pretty cool to be able to do spells in this game. An important thing to mention is that with the Spell Shot class, they have 2 spells that are specifically for this class. It's the dual wielding spells and also the polymorphing spell. So I'm going to show you a lineup of the spells that have been revealed. So there's Meteor Rain, where there's this giant meteor that just comes from above the sky and it crushes your enemy. There are also 2 lightning spells, the Lightning Circle and the Lightning Strike. So in the gameplay, they showed footage of the Lightning Strike spell. The final spell that we see in the gameplay is this Hawk spell, which is super cool. Other spells to look out for in the game is Poison, Barrage, Hydra, Ground Fissure, and the Frost Protection Circle. I hope you enjoyed today's video and that you are ready to enjoy some content from RPG Labs on tips and tricks for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That's going to be coming out March 25th. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Sound off on the comments down below what you're looking forward to in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and we will see you next time.